Hello, guys. It's been a little while since I've hopped on here live. I've been doing classes over on Zoom, which has been a lot of fun. I love Zoom because then I can see your faces, but it's still nice to hop on live every once in a while in this private group and chat with you guys. And I'm really excited about tonight. So if you're hopping on, say hello. I see a couple people are joining. I love to know who's there. It's always more fun to know who I'm talking to. And I know a couple people are planning to watch this a little bit later, which is totally cool. That's the joy of being able to hop on here and do this live. I'm going to keep this pretty quick because I know this is a busy time of night for a lot of mamas, especially putting kids to bed. It's beautiful out, so some of you might want to be sitting outside instead of listening to me. I actually tried to set this up outside, but then the neighbors started cutting their grass, and I thought, well, that's not going to work. So, anyways, hey Heather, I'm so glad you could join. Anyways, this is something I've been wanting to do actually for quite a while, and I just haven't got my act together to do it. I wanted to chat a little bit with you guys about the business opportunity through Doterra. And hey, Megan, I'm glad you could join too. Awesome. And I know you might have to jump off, but that's totally cool. Like I was saying, I'll keep this pretty quick. And if anybody wants to chat a little bit more about this, it's such an individual thing that just let me know and we will have a chat that's a little bit more specific to you. So for tonight, it's just going to be pretty general, but feel free to ask questions. Hey, Tamara, awesome. Glad you could join too. And yeah, ask questions, but you can also contact me later and we can always have a quick chat. So this is something that I have personally not talked a lot about, especially in this group. You may have noticed some of you, like Heather and even Megan, you guys have been a part of this group for years now, right? I mean, you don't often hear me talking about the business, but something I've realized over the last little bit, well, I've realized a couple things. I've realized one, that I'm being a little selfish by not talking about this. And I'll explain a little bit about what I mean in that regards in a few minutes. So I shouldn't be keeping this all to myself because it is one of the most beautiful businesses I've ever been a part of. And having been a part of a number of businesses, corporate and some others, it is really an amazing business model. And so I feel like I'm maybe being a little selfish by not sharing it. Second off, I've realized that where I maybe make the assumption that a lot of people know what is available through doTERRA from a business perspective, I realize it is very much an assumption. A lot of people don't know, which makes sense because I didn't know before I knew. And so I'm realizing that there's a lot of unknown around it, a lot of sort of assumptions made. And so I'm realizing that it is probably a good thing for me to chat a little bit more about so that you guys know. I also feel so strongly, especially right now, that more women need financial freedom. It's, time freedom, yes, so important. But financial freedom, because the more women can have abundance and make money, and I'm not going to get into too much chat about money tonight, but I think it's really important. The more women can do this, it's been shown, studies have shown that women give back to the community way more than men. And so that's not to hate on the men, but I think the more financial freedom we can give women, the better the world is. And I feel really, really strongly about that. So we invest in the future, and having 3 kids and kind of seeing where the world's going, I want a bright future for my kids. And I think the more women that we can give some power to and empower and feel financially free, it's huge. So I'm feeling very, very strongly about that. And personally, I'm in a place in my business where I'm ready to partner and be a leader. I've done this for long enough. So I'm ready to partner and be a leader for some women that if they're wanting to join arm in arm with me and go through this amazing business and opportunity, that I'm ready for that as well. So those are kind of the reasons why I'm wanting to share a little bit more about this, and that's why I'm looking at doing that right now. So let me start by just saying, personally, you guys know how I got started with the oils. Most of you guys know I've talked about this for years now. But if you had told me, 6, 7 years ago that I would be part of a network marketing company or an MLM, I would have said, there's no way. I had a very negative judgment around what a network marketing company was all about. Unfortunately, that was my own narrow mindedness, but I did. I, felt like I went to school, had a really good education, was starting my corporate job, and why would I want to look at something else? And so that was really my attitude around it. I had no interest in the business at all. Most of you even know I didn't even have any interest in the oils. I was super skeptical until they started to work. And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess I have to pay attention here. And I know some of you have had that experience. I hope you don't mind me saying, but Megan, I'll never forget our first chat. You were pretty skeptical too. And I knew right away, I was like, oh, I like this girl because I like someone that asks questions and doesn't always take things for face value. So that was me even more amplified in regards to the business. I was very adamant. And the interesting thing is probably 99% of the leaders you talk to in Doterra will say the exact same thing, that when they first heard about the business, they said, no way, I'm not interested, and for whatever reasons, right? So it's kind of interesting that was my first perception. And then I'll never forget a chat that I heard from Ange Peters, who's Whole Fit, who is part of our greater team. And it was when doTERRA was first coming to Canada, and she was talking about the business opportunity, and it was something I was kind of listening to in the background. And all of a sudden, it felt like someone kind of hit me in the forehead in regards to the business. And I thought, oh, I could do this. And man, does that ever align with my values and my hopes and my dreams and what I want to do with my life? And I thought, okay, maybe I need to look into this a little more. And I think, honestly, if there's anything you can take away from tonight and what I'm chatting about, I would want you to take this away, that anybody can do this business. Okay? You do not have to be a green juice loving yogi hippie / influencer / social media tycoon. My words mixed up by the end of the day because I'm so tired. You know what I mean? You don't have to be any of those things. Anyone can do this business, and I have seen it. I've been to convention. I've seen the leaders in every shape and size and color and background and age. Some of the youngest people being like 19, 20 to some of the oldest, I think she was 90 something, was a big leader in doTERRA. Is a big leader, I shouldn't say was. She's still with us for now. My sick humor. Anyway, my point being is that anybody can do this business, and that's what I really want people to take away. You don't have to be a specialist, an aromatherapist. You don't need special training. All you need is a passion for the oils. You need to love using the oils, and you need to look at this as not just using the odd oil here and there, but really creating a lifestyle. If you do that, if you create this lifestyle and this love for these oils, you can do the business. And I'll kind of explain some of the different ways that you can look at the business. But that's one thing I wanted to share with you guys, because that was a big aha moment for me when I heard Ange talking. I thought, you know what, I could do this. And I did. And I am just a mom that loved the oils, and I have learned a ton. So absolutely, you may look at me and say, well, you know a lot about the oils, Sarah. Well, yes, but I didn't. My very first class that I hosted, Ange hosted for me. I just sat in the corner and served people a ton of wine because I was actually pretty nervous. I think I was drinking a fair bit of wine myself. And I didn't know anything about the oils. I just knew they worked. And all I did was tell my story repeatedly about On Guard and Breathe to other moms. So it was that simple. I just wanted to share a couple high-level facts that I think are important to know about doTERRA from a business standpoint. So first off, we are the largest essential oil company in the world. Now, we are almost one of the largest network marketing companies in the world. We are in 110 countries and growing super quickly. The opportunity is global, and it's amazing to see leaders grow in other countries. Um, Doterra is a privately owned company that hit 1 billion in profit after 7 years. A privately owned company hitting $1 billion profit, debt free, in 7 years is almost unheard of. One of the only other companies that have done that is Apple. Okay, so that's huge. doTERRA also has a 65% retention rate. So what does that mean? Well, if you're doing the business, that's super important because that is 4.5 to 5 times higher than any other network marketing company, in the sense that once you get started with the oils, 65% of the people that get started are lifetime customers. And that's huge, right? So you're not starting from scratch, right? You're building a tribe, a community. You guys are a great example. There's a number of you guys here that have been with me since almost day one, for 4 or 5 years using the oils. And I hazard to guess you'll probably use them for the rest of your life. I know I will. So that retention rate is so important, right? From a business standpoint. We're the only essential oil company that has been embraced by medical community, by professional athletes. doTERRA is a brand now, which is really cool, right? It's like a Lululemon or an Apple. It's a brand, and that makes our job really easy in a lot of ways. When I first started, a lot of people didn't even know what essential oils were, let alone doTERRA. And then the last thing I want to really quickly mention is doTERRA is an oil company first and then a network marketing company. And the reason I mentioned this, and this really appealed to me when I heard the leaders talk about this, was that they decided that on their mission that they wanted to pursue the purest oils in the entire world and bring them to people while also make a difference in the world. That was really their mission from day one. And they decided that's what they were going to do. And they started that. And then they sat down and said, well, what's our best way to distribute this? And they talked a lot about this. And they decided on the fact that network marketing would be the best way to distribute it. Most other companies, it's the other way around. It's okay, we want to network market. What product are we going to distribute? And that to me makes a big difference from a cultural standpoint. And that's why you don't see doTERRA leading with the business. We are not in the business of recruiting people. That's why you hardly ever hear me talking about the business. We are in the business of helping people, supporting people, changing people's lives, sharing the oils. And with that, there is a business opportunity. So I think that was super important. That really meant a lot to me. And I think it's a big part of the culture. Like I said, most other network marketing companies lead with the business, but we lead with our products. And I think you also need to look to the top. You need to know, in any company that you're going to work for, whether you go work in a corporate job or whether you work in a network marketing, you need to look at the top and who's running the company, who's running the show, who's making the decisions, who's creating this culture, because that makes a huge difference. And the heart behind doTERRA and the people that created doTERRA and created this business model are some of the most heart-centered people I have ever been around. And so that makes a huge difference too. So I think that's important to note. Here, I made a couple more notes because I just want to make sure I stay on track. Like I said, we're not in the business of recruiting. In fact, 85% of the people that join doTERRA, like you guys, are just customers. 85% of people are customers. And then there's the 15% that decide they want to do this business. So again, like many other network marketing companies, and I'm not bashing any, there's some amazing network marketing companies. I've become a big supporter actually of a number of them, because I just have such a respect for the business model, and I want to empower other women because, like I said, I think the more we can get money into women's hands, the better. However, we are, like I said, other companies, you often hear them talking about the business a lot. It's a little more flashy. It's what they lead with, and again, that's not what you'll see from doTERRA. but that does not mean that there isn't the most beautiful business and opportunity available. And I think that's why I wanted to talk about it tonight, because I want you guys to know that, even though we're kind of shy and quiet about it. And like I said, if you talk to most leaders in doTERRA, you're going to hear them say, I was not interested in the business. Actually, interesting story, just really quick. There's one leader who's very high up in the business and is making seven figures. Like this is, this is real. I know many leaders that are completely financially free and have it and time freedom, and are living their dream, right? And she tells the story where her friend kept telling her, you got to try these oils, you got to try these oils. And she said, I bought the damn kit just to prove her wrong that these oils were not going to work. And she had been in a car accident 5 years prior, and a really bad car accident, and was very disabled and couldn't go back to work and had all sorts of issues emotionally, physically. And so she bought this kit to say, like, this, I've tried everything, this is not going to help. The doctors say there's really nothing else for me to do here, other than be on these meds and these meds. And I'm going to buy this damn kit so that you stop bugging me and prove you wrong. And now, here she is, like 4 or 5 years later, a massive leader in doTERRA, because she had to call up her friend and say, I was wrong. I can't believe how well these oils are working for me. And there you go. The rest is history. So anyways, okay, let me just quickly share 3 types of people that usually come into doTERRA. There are the people that we call like the users, the customers. They are living doTERRA in the sense of they're using it, buying the oils, loving it. And they're happy with that. And that's totally cool. That's a big percentage of the people that come into doTERRA, right? Like I said. Then we have people that love to share the oils, okay? So those are the people that just want to be, kind of casual, and they're like, oh, my sister could totally benefit from this. My mom could totally benefit, my neighbor, or, my mom friends or whatever. And those are people that are maybe going to casually share. And that could look like so many different things. And then there's the people that are looking to actually build a business. They're looking at the residual income. They're looking at total financial and time freedom. And there's that opportunity as well. So it can run from very casually sharing the oils and maybe just earning enough to pay for your oil habit, right? That would be kind of nice. They're amazing, but yes, every month it can add up, right? So it might just be paying for your oils. It might be just paying off a little bit of debt. It might be earning a little extra cash so you can spend some money on yourself. It might be saving for a certain dream vacation. Or it could go all the way to the other side where I'm at, where my dream is for me, if someone could wave a magic wand, I want time freedom. I want more time with my family, although after this COVID thing, I might change my mind. But I want more free time with my family. I want to be able to go do things, experience things with them, and I want financial freedom. That's huge for me, and so that's what I'm working towards. So again, there's every it's completely customizable, and I think that's what people don't really realize. You get to create whatever you want to create in your business. There's no having to be this for somebody else. There's no like, okay, I'm going to do the business and now Sarah's going to hound me to have to do all these crazy things and do Facebook Lives, which I'm not comfortable with. There are so many different ways you can build this business. Now, I will say it is becoming a little bit more, you need to be online a little bit more right now, because sitting shoulder to shoulder with people or in coffee shops is not really possible. But there are so many different ways that you can build the business. So it's really up to you. It's up to, you need to decide kind of what your goals are, what your dreams are. You can dream small in the beginning, or you can dream really big if you want. And that's where I can come in supporting you. Whether that's just a quick chat, quick virtual coffee, or a quick chat over the phone where, we can dig in and see if there's a fit. Maybe chat a little bit more about where you might fit into this. just let me know, and that's where I can come in and support. And whether that's, you know, hooking you up with some resources and you can do some casual sharing, or whether that's linking arms with you. Like I said, I'm looking for a couple leaders right now where I want to link arms and move forward. And maybe that's you as well. So it really is completely up to you. What else did I want to say about that? Or for some people, it might just be a bigger purpose or a community like this, a community of women, the people that I've met and that I get to surround myself with. It's fun. And it's these people are looking to be lifelong sisters, lifelong friends, right? So that's been pretty amazing as well. Now, the other thing I just want to quickly mention is what this whole thing about residual income is. So I think sometimes you hear this, or I should ask, does anybody have any questions for those that are still tuning in? I'll wait, sometimes there's a delay. But let me explain this thing about residual income because, and a little bit, I'm not going to go into the business model in great detail because that's something we can always chat about, but why it's such a genius business model. First of all, the business model, and here I'm just going to grab, I've got this little booklet here that I'll show you. You're earning true income, true lasting residual income. So there's no kind of cap on what you can earn, which would be like many of our jobs, right? There's no limits to advancements and earnings. You know, there's no glass ceiling. You can go, you can do what you want with this business. You can create what you want. You can be as creative as you want. You can earn as much as you want. And there's no cap. Like you always get that. It's the odd person that still has that old mindset of like, oh, a pyramid scheme. It's actually the exact opposite of a pyramid. In doTERRA, there is really no limit to what you can do. There's complete freedom to choose your business, your schedule, and really, you know, build your dreams. And residual income, the cool thing about this is the best analogy is a story about hauling buckets. And there's this man, and you can see, I'm just looking down at this because it's our biz building guide. There's a man here that hauled buckets of water for a living, right? So every day he'd have to walk miles down to where he'd get the water, he'd scoop it up, he'd walk miles back to the village, he'd sell that, and that's how he would earn a living. And if he wanted to earn more, he'd simply have to work more hours, right? You're trading hours for dollars. And that's what most of us do in business. That's what most of us do in our jobs. We trade hours for dollars. After many years, he obviously became pretty wary of hauling buckets, and he had this idea. If he used his spare time to build a pipeline, eventually he could be free from hauling buckets. So he was going to build a pipeline from the water source back to his village. So he worked on this for a number of years, and eventually he turned on the spigot from that pipeline, and everything changed. All of a sudden, water was in his village, and he didn't have to haul those buckets anymore, right? There was that continuous water source, which is kind of representative of your income. And that is what residual income is. You take the time to build that pipeline. And please note, it does not mean build a business and then sit on your butt and let other people do stuff for you, because that's not how doTERRA is set up. It's not how the structure works. But it is build a pipeline, share the oils, inspire others to do the same, and continue to do that. And your growth is exponential. It's actually kind of mind-blowing how it all works. And I want to show you guys just a quick snapshot of what the earnings looks like. You're not going to be able to see it that closely, but if you want me to send it to you, I can. Let me just check the comments here. Can you be successful in this business without meeting people in person at all? Doing presentations and sharing in person? Yeah, actually there has been quite a few people that have done their business solely online. I'm assuming you mean just kind of online. And I think right now that's where it has to go, right? People have to be somewhat comfortable online, because you're always going to have your warm market, right? You're always going to have your friends and family that you can reach out to. And it's surprising how, you know, you have your friends and family, and then they'll maybe know somebody, and that can go on for a while. But eventually you're going to get to the point where you're going to have to reach others. If you're looking to build a business, if you're just casually sharing, that's a different story. But yeah, you absolutely, I know a lot of people have been very, very successful online, but it takes time. Here's the thing that, in all honesty, it takes more time online than it does in person, because in person you're able to trust people a little bit quicker. Online, it takes more time, and online we're inundated with so much stuff. So I don't know if that answers your question. But yeah, doing presentations and sharing in person is not necessary. And in fact, now it's not even really an option. So, doing, and I should say, one of the things that's really cool is you guys have all these resources. I can plug you into, you have this group. So you don't have to be hopping on and doing the continuous education, because I do it. I can plug you into other leaders that do it. I can plug you into programs. I can plug you into e-booklets and all sorts of resources that you really don't have to create. Now, if you're a creative person and you like creating things, that's there for you. But you don't have to create that stuff. That's all available to you. So that's there to share out and can easily be done online. And there's even a social media content platform that Doterra has for free where you can pull all your images off of. And I mean, the resources are endless in that regard. So hopefully that answers. Let me just really quickly show you guys. You're probably not going to be able to see this that closely, but this is the earning guide. Here, I'm trying to see. Kind of gives you a sense of the different, what would you call them, ranks, and what the earning potential and possibility can be. Now, I'll just quickly, let you know that there could be anywhere from your elite to premier, which is kind of down at the bottom, where you could be earning anywhere from $400 to almost upwards of $1,000. So you could pay for your oils, earn a little extra cash. This is on average. It's not always that much. Sometimes it's a little more. It just depends on how you're building your business and structuring things. You can work your way up to, gold, which is here, the gold one. That's almost enough to replace an income, right? That's like $56,000, $60,000 on average. And then as you work your way up exponentially to presidential diamond, that's when you can start looking into the seven figures. Now, that's not easy to do. A small percentage of people reach that. It takes a lot of work. So this is not a get rich quick scheme by any means, but the potential is huge. And here's the really cool thing that I just want to point out about Doterra that differs with other network marketing companies is the way they've structured their income. That when you have the smaller amount of volume in the lower ranks, you're going to earn a smaller percentage. As you grow to the higher ranks and you have a higher amount of volume of people that you're working with, you are paid on a larger percentage. This is very, very different because it's usually the opposite, where in the beginning you get paid with a higher percentage. So for some network marketing companies, that can be attractive because in the beginning you could be sharing very little and be like, oh, I'm making, a decent money. But as you grow, you're going to earn less of a percentage, right? So the income possibility isn't as great as it is in Doterra. So like I said, it grows exponentially, which is really cool. So that's just a little bit about the financial aspect of it. What else do I want to say? Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll finish up soon. So I talked about the earnings. Oh, what are the requirements? So you might be saying, okay, well, do I have to buy in? Do I have to pay money to get started in the business? What are the requirements to get started? Like I said, the first requirement is loving your oils, okay? I sometimes have people call or chat with me and say, well, I'm interested in the business, but they haven't yet used the oils. And I say, that's amazing. And I love that. But because you've recognized there's a huge opportunity here, but you need to use the oils first and you need to love the oils or you're going to have a really hard time doing the business. The expectation is that you are using the oils because in order to earn a commission, you need to be placing 100 PV order every single month through your LRP. Now, that might seem like a lot for some, but if you're using the oils and living the lifestyle, using the oils, the vitamins, the shampoo. You don't have to use it all. You don't have to love it all. There's other products that I use, but our household uses doTERRA for the most part. So it's very easy for me to place a 100 PV order every month. And I would never be able to share authentically if I wasn't using it, right? So that's what doTERRA expects. But that's it. So there's no buy-in. You don't have to buy a kit. There's no starting fee. There's nothing. We upgrade you from a wholesale customer to a wellness advocate. That is free. doTERRA then gives you a website and a link that you can share out. I provide you with endless amounts of resources, not all at once because that's overwhelming, but we work together depending on your goals. And then in order to earn a commission, you have a 100 PV order every single month, and that's it. What else? What did back monitor? Sorry, just reading through. Oh, and honestly, the only other thing I usually recommend, other than loving your oils, placing that order every month, is I recommend having a few sample bottles. These are sample rollers. I have so many sample bottles around my house. doTERRA has them in the back office, little sample bottles like that. I recommend having those with your stickers that are super cheap through doTERRA, because that's the way you're going to share and sample with people. I'm a huge believer of sampling before you get started with your oils. And so that's about it as far as what you need for equipment. A phone, a computer, now that things are a little bit online. Instagram, Facebook is probably helpful, but you don't need much. And I always send out a business package to any of my builders or sharers that get started that has some of that fun stuff for you to get started, so you don't even have to really buy anything right from the get-go. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I don't know if I've missed anything major for you guys. Ask questions, message me. Don't overthink this. If you're somewhat curious, you're here on this call, you're probably somewhat curious, unless you're just super bored in quarantine or in self-isolation. But shoot me off a quick message and let's set up a quick virtual coffee or a quick chat. And we can talk more specific to you and maybe what some of your goals are. Like I said, whether that's really casually sharing, whether that's just looking to pay for your oils, or whether that's something a little bit bigger. We can do that discovery, and there is never any pressure. I hope you guys know that about me now. Just because you've kind of said, oh, I'm interested in the business, I'm not going to start bombarding you with things. It's not in the culture of what we do at doTERRA, and it's not who I am either. I wanted to share this because it has been one of the most amazing things I've ever been a part of. There's huge opportunity. I've been very casual with the oils. I've also been very intentional over the last couple of years and very strategic with building. And it's amazing. So I wanted to share that with you guys. The other thing that we can do, which is really fun, is set up an online class. So all you'd have to do is create an event on Facebook, invite some of your girlfriends, whether it's 2 friends or 10 friends, it doesn't matter. And I usually will sample them first. If we have enough lead time, I'll send them out some samples, and then we do like a 30, 45-minute class online. Everybody can be in the comfort of their own home, their comfy pants, and host a class. That's a great way to get started. Even if you're just casually sharing, host a class, and we can enroll anybody that gets started under you, and you can earn a little income. You can pay, for whatever maybe expensive oils that you have on your list of what you want, or maybe you just pay for the next couple months of your order, whatever that looks like. So that is a great next step. So if you want to chat, let me know. If you want to book a quick online class, let me know. They're a lot of fun. If you have no interest in doing the business, but you still want to do an online class, I do give some fun goodies to the hostess, so that's always an option. The other thing is I just really quickly wanted to mention, because someone reached out about this, is convention is online this year. Convention is one of the most magical things in the world, honestly. I always wondered about these people that went to these conventions, and I thought it was like a cult, or like, oh, these people drank Kool-Aid, and oh my God, if I have to go to one of these conventions, everybody's cheering, and this is not going to be for me. but it wasn't like that at all. It was an amazing experience. And because of COVID, it is now going to be online in September, and it's a very reasonable price. I want to say it's like 45 American. And that's days worth of trainings and information and presentations. So again, if you're somewhat curious and you're still kind of on the fence, but you want to know a little bit more about doTERRA, even if you're just super passionate about the product, I highly encourage you to check out the convention. I'll post about that. It's way in September, but just wanted to plant that seed. Can you earn monthly products? Tamara, I'm not sure. So you don't earn products. Like, you can earn enough money to pay for your monthly products. You don't earn any products through doTERRA. But doTERRA pays you, they compensate you for sharing their products. So for example, I mean, I'm at a stage where I obviously, I have more income coming in than just paying for my oils. But in the beginning, that's exactly what I would use it for. Every month, my order would be like $200, and I would just pay for my order. So they were free for me, plus all the points I accumulated. So you earn a lot of points through your LRP, so you get free oils that way. So there's lots of ways to pay for your oils, to get free oils, but it's not a direct, like doTERRA doesn't give you free product to be selling it. I think that maybe is what you're asking. So you don't have to stock inventory. That's actually a really good point, because I think some network marketing companies ask you to do that. You don't do that through doTERRA, because we're empowering and showing people how to get started themselves with the oils. You will have if you get started with the business, you'll have a retail link that you can give people and they can just go on and buy. But 99% of the people that you chat with, you're going to teach them how to enroll and order their own oils, because it's a no-brainer. It's cheaper for them to do that. So I don't know why people wouldn't. And so that's what you're teaching people to do. That's what you're getting paid for. And you don't need to stock any oils because of that, because doTERRA is sending the oils for you. They're doing the shipping. They're, doing basically they have all your overhead costs, right? Which is cool. So you don't have to have, $1,000 worth of oil, so you're shipping them out to people. And that would be a nightmare to me, honestly. That's partially why the odd time you get people to say, oh, I just want to buy a lemon oil off you. Do you have a couple extra? And I don't get into that, because my passion isn't, delivering an odd oil here or there. Sure, I'll hook someone up if they really need it. But my passion is in educating. And that's really where doTERRA is going to reward you or compensate you, is when you're sharing with other people in teaching them how they themselves can start ordering the oils. So you don't have to be doing that for them, right? So I don't know if that answers your question. That was kind of a long-winded, but that brought up a really good point, because I think there are some network marketing companies out there that expect you to have an inventory. And maybe they give you some of the inventory for free in expectation that you sell a certain amount. There's none of that. It is really choose your own adventure with doTERRA. You get a ton of support from me and other leaders, from the community, from all the resources, but you get to choose how you want to do it, when you want to do it, how in you are, or how not in you are. So I love that aspect of it. Any other questions, guys? I hope I touched on most things. I think, I didn't get into a ton of detail, because again, it's such a personalized individual thing. So let me know if you want to chat further about it and what that might look like for you. I have these build guides are really awesome. I'm happy to send this out to anybody for free. And it gives you a little bit more information about the compensation. In fact, you can Google doTERRA build guide and find the online version very easily. So if you want to look at a couple more things, and I'm always here to chat. And I did 40 minutes. My goal was 30. So I'm going to jump off if nobody else has any questions. But like I said, this was one of the best decisions I've ever made. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, have a lovely night. Enjoy the weather. It is starting to get dark out, but I still might sneak out there for a little bit. and we'll chat soon. Okay, bye guys.